This is Mel. I hope all of you are doing awesome. Today we're going to do a story, and this story is inspired by Gautam Buddha. So once Buddha was sitting under a tree, and there are a lot of followers and disciples sitting next to him. And a businessman showed up and he heard about Gautam Buddha, and he thought that Gautam Buddha can actually solve all his problems. Now, this businessman was extremely rich, and he was very, he had anger issues. He was very angry, and he had a lot of pride, ego. So he came and he thought that Buddha will listen to all his problems and immediately solve them. So he started talking to him about his problem, and Buddha was sitting in a meditative pose, and he always had this wonderful smile in his face while he's sitting in his meditation. And all the followers were sitting also meditating. And at the same time, there are some people who were showing up and talking about their problems one by one. And while Buddha was sitting, he would just listen and raise his hand for blessing, and that's all he did. So this rich man actually, after sitting about 30 minutes, he actually got very, very angry at Buddha, and he just said that I just talked for 30 minutes and all you did is listen and raise your hand for a blessing, but you didn't solve any of the problems, and then you you wasted my time, and my time is very valuable. Time is money, and I could have done so many things, and I don't know why I came here. So he was very loud and angry, as he had anger issues. Then he expected some reaction from Buddha, but Buddha said just the way he was, smile in his face, and I'm just sitting there. So that made him furious, and he said, you just sit under the tree with smile in your face and you don't do anything, and you wasted my time. 30 minutes of my time is so valuable. And he was very furious. So Buddha's followers were angry with him, and so Buddha told everybody to just quiet down and not to be angry with each other. So this made the businessman extremely furious. So he went to Buddha and he almost went to hit him, but he didn't, and he spit on Buddha's face, and there was no reaction from Buddha for this incident, this behavior. So that made this businessman even more aggressive and furious, that when he spit on Buddha's face, Buddha had no reaction. He was just sitting the same way in a meditative pose and with smile in his face, not even angry, no reaction, anything. So the Buddha's disciples were they were very furious and angry, and they wanted, some of them got up to hit him, and the Buddha still told them that please sit down. And so they sat down and they were like, oh, Buddha is so kind and forgiving, didn't do anything. But the businessman got even more angry and furious at this, seeing that Buddha had no reaction to his insult, and spitting on Buddha had no reaction. So he thought that if he stand a little bit longer, he might just hit Buddha. So he just go home. So he left the place and he went home. After he went home, he had a big fight with his wife when she asked him what's wrong, how was your day, and she went to give him food. As usual, he got very angry with her for no reasons. He just asked how was his day. And then he didn't even eat. He threw his food and then he went to sleep. And he couldn't even sleep all night because he kept thinking about the incident, that how Buddha had no reaction towards his insult, and he was so angry he could have just hit Buddha. Whole night was gone and he couldn't sleep a wink. And then morning he got up from bed, no reason for laying in bed when he cannot sleep. Then he started thinking that he heard a lot about Buddha, how Buddha fixed all the people's problem. And then, but when he went there, he just broke into this anger, because so this anger, his anger came from his tremendous expectation from Buddha. And when he thought these expectations are not met, he just burst into anger. Usually anger comes from pride, ego, and expectations. So then he started crying because he realized what horrible thing that he did. He spitted on Buddha, was like the greatest man. So he went back to Buddha again and he fell on his feet and started crying, saying, "Please forgive me for what I have done. I spitted on you, I yelled out, and I caused so much disturbance yesterday." So all the disciples, Buddha told Buddha, "Please forgive him, he's crying." And then Buddha said, "No, I cannot forgive him." And then all the disciples were asking, "But you didn't do anything to him yesterday. And so why are you saying you cannot forgive him? Because you're so kind and forgiving, you forgive everybody." So Buddha said, "Forgive whom?" And then this businessman says, "Me, that you need to forgive because I acted such way yesterday. Don't you remember me?" And Buddha said, "Yes, but the person is here in front of me today is not the same person." And then the businessman say, "Yes, it's me. Lord Buddha, it's me who came yesterday and insulted you and spit on your face and got very furious and angry and wanted to even hit you." Then Buddha said, "No, that was a different person, and today this person is different because this person is very remorseful for his action, what he did, and asking for forgiveness and crying. And this person had realized his uh, doing wrong, what he did. So there's nothing to forgive." So the businessman said, "I couldn't sleep. I cried a lot." And then Buddha said, "That's when the God forgave you. So I don't have to forgive because the forgiveness came the minute you realize that you have really done something wrong and you acted out of your pride and ego. And when you came here, you had a lot of expectation and you thought those expectations weren't met, and you were very proud that your time is very valuable, but time was wasted by coming here. So you see, the person was here yesterday is not the person here today, because the person yesterday was totally different. The person today is totally different. So I cannot forgive the person today because the person today is a new man, and this new man has not done anything for forgiving him." So the businessman really felt sad and he cried more, and then he joined the Buddha's disciples team, and then he spread the message of Buddha, and he became a better person, and he stopped getting angry at people, stopped having pride and ego, and especially too much expectation from himself, from the whole world, and desiring too many things. So as he sat down in front of Buddha crying and say, "Oh Lord Buddha, please tell me, how can I get rid of this anger?" And then Lord Buddha told him that anger comes from desires. When you desire too many things, I want this, I want the biggest house, I want the biggest business, I want tons of money, I want the most biggest job, I want a lot of things. Now we can want all we want in this world, but that does not mean that all these wants going to be fulfilled. Now, people have made tons of videos of law of attraction, these, that, blah, 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 blah. But that is not all true, because you see, just because we want something doesn't mean it's going to be fulfilled today. It might be fulfilled 10 years later, might be fulfilled 20 years later, might be fulfilled a year later. But we cannot just get mad or cry or get really upset because it's not fulfilled, because we may have asked for many things, but a lot of things are not in our hand. It is up to other people, up to the God, up to many other organizations to hire us, give us a job, or for us to have a big job and have a lot of money, then can buy a house. Even if we have a house, we may not be happy in it. So there's just a lot of things. But the main thing Buddha tried to teach him, this all this unhappiness is coming from desiring to have a lot of things. So stop the desire if you want to be happy. It's okay to think of having a job. It's okay to think of having a place to live. It's okay to think for having a little bit money for rainy days. But that doesn't mean that if you don't get those things, you become very upset, angry, sad, crying. That's what brings the anger. And another thing is comparing ourselves with others. That also brings a lot of anger, upset, and sadness, because what we see in social media, we might see a lot of people's pictures and things, and we think, oh, this person did this degree, this person got this big job, this person has this big house. But that doesn't mean those persons actually happy. That is just a picture for a moment, but that does not explain their entire life, or what's going in the background, or what is actually going on with their life. So for us to just see a Facebook picture of somebody standing in front of an expensive car or a big house and think that, oh, that person's life is so perfect, has everything, is really very wrong. I think in a sense the social media it just makes people more sad looking at other people's pictures. So along with not desiring too many things, we should not compare at all with other people. What we have, we need to be happy with that. And what we can have is very uncertain. We may not, but we shouldn't be unhappy for that, because what it does is creates living in the future or past. We cannot live in the past of all the wrong things happen to us and cry for that. Then we are not living today. We cannot live in the future, is what we're going to get, or if we don't get it, then we are not living either, because we cannot live in the future. Future is unknown. We don't know if we're going to even live that long. So what is the point? So we have to live on today, today's date. And we have to be happy with whatever we have. It doesn't matter what. And what other people has, they have it. And we shouldn't compare. We shouldn't feel bad or anything. We just have to be content and happy with what we have. and that is going to give us a better life. And that's what Buddha tried to teach and preach. And that was the reason he left all his money and things and relationships, because he realized that the more we desire for things, more we have unhappiness. If you pay attention, you'll see all our friends, family, people in our life is the reason we have all the unhappiness. Because you see, a mother cries for her child all the time. How is my child? Is my child okay? Is my child doing okay? Is anything wrong with the child? And then a wife cries for husband. Is he okay? Or worries about him and things like that. So if you, and then you see a friend is sad, maybe another friend said something, or somebody said something in the back, somebody said something in social media. So it's all our problems is because of other people. So we need to be content with ourselves. We need to establish a relationship with God so we can talk to God and say about your problems and just daily pray, meditate. So this will bring much of happiness and contentment in our heart instead of running and chasing about wild dreams. And dreams, is good to have dreams, but all the dreams are not going to come true. That is the truth. So we cannot just have skyrocketing dreams and then feel sad about it that didn't come true or we didn't get it. Then we are wasting all our lives just feeling sad about things that we didn't get or couldn't get. But why can't we be happy with what we have? So then we could eliminate so much suffering, so much sadness. We just have to be happy with whatever we have, and then our life will be much better. We can just work, eat, sleep, and go for a walk and listen to music, pray, and then our life will be so much better. But if we continuously um, have desires to do things, get things, then we are always unhappy because all these desires are not going to be met, and we're always, so we going to have all this anger, jealousy, hate, comparing with others. So Buddha said that I cannot forgive that person because that person is not you who's today, and today you are a different person. And he gave him all the knowledge needed to be a better person, a person without anger, without hate, without jealousy, without comparing with others, a person who's just content with whatever he or she has and just happy. And that is what we see, a smile on Buddha's face, sitting under a tree wearing the simplest clothes and just happy with today. Not sure what future is, not sure, did not care about the past, what he had being a king, just content in the moment and today. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you with many, many more. Bye bye. Good night, sweet dreams.